For years, Paul Teutul Senior, the legendary custom bike builder from American Chopper, has stayed relatively quiet about his personal struggles. But now, at 75, he's finally breaking his silence. And the news isn't good. Fans have long speculated about his health, finances, and ongoing legal battles, but his latest revelation has sent shockwaves through the biker community. What has prompted him to speak out now? Is it about his business, his family, or something even more serious? The truth behind his announcement is not what anyone expected. What exactly did Paul Senior reveal, and how will it impact his future? "I've stayed quiet about my struggles. It's time to set the record straight," he stated. "My health, finances, and legal battles have taken a toll, and the road hasn't been easy. I know there's been speculation, but I want my fans to hear it from me. The truth is tough, but I'm facing it head-on. This isn't the end. It's just another chapter in my journey." His distinctive long mustache, loud voice, and fiery demeanor helped him create an empire that enthralled millions of people. Paul Senior became well known due to the renowned motorcycles that roared out of his shop and the iconic reality show American Chopper. Paul Teutul Senior was just an ordinary man with a dream before he became famous and wealthy. Life wasn't easy growing up in Yonkers, New York. His early years were characterized by conflict between families, financial difficulties, and the kind of difficult upbringing that makes people resilient. He didn't inherit his success or come into it with a silver spoon. He earned everything by fighting for it. Paul began his career in a steel fabrication company. He was accustomed to working long hours in the shop, sweating through demanding tasks, and honing his metalworking skills. Even so, he was passionate about motorcycles. During his leisure time, he would tinker with bikes, try out unique designs, and hope to one day produce his own works of art. His decision to take a chance and leave the security of his fabrication job to follow his true passion, building custom motorcycles, was the pivotal moment. In 1999, armed with an unrivaled work ethic and unwavering resolve, he established Orange County Choppers. What began as a small business quickly became a globally renowned brand, laying the groundwork for Paul Teutul Senior's legacy. Paul Teutul Senior was at the vanguard of the reality television revolution that occurred in the early 2000s. American Chopper became a cultural phenomenon as soon as it was picked up by Discovery Channel in 2003. It was about more than just motorcycles. It was about passion, family, conflict, and inventiveness. Paul was a fascinating character on screen because of his uncompromising demeanor, quick anger, and unvarnished honesty. The fights with Paul Teutul Jr., his son, went down in legend. The emotional outbursts, the creative conflicts, and the touching moments were all genuine and unfiltered. Fans were enthralled. However, there was more to the show than just drama. It demonstrated the craftsmanship involved in creating unique motorcycles. For well-known customers like the U.S. Army and the New York Yankees, OCC built astounding machines. These were rolling works of art, representations of American pride and craftsmanship, not just motorcycles. Paul Senior rose to fame as a result of American Chopper's success. OCC grew into a sizable headquarters with cutting-edge amenities. His image appeared in advertisements, magazine covers, and even action figures. The American dream had come true for him. However, success brought with it even more difficulties. The tumultuous relationship between Paul Senior and his son, Paul Jr., is perhaps the one thing that American Chopper enthusiasts remember more than the bikes. Their ferocious altercations became the subject of legendary television. However, the tension was even higher behind the cameras. Father Paul Senior had always been a strict disciplinarian. He wasn't scared to push his son to the edge because he demanded perfection. However, Paul Jr. had his own vision and style, and the conflicts became intolerable as he became more self-reliant. When Paul Senior fired his own son from OCC in 2008, it was the tipping point. He stated, "Discipline isn't about being liked, it's about demanding the best. I pushed hard because I believed in perfection. It wasn't always easy, but greatness never is." The effects were severe. A legal dispute arose regarding the company's ownership rights. The family was split up, and the two did not communicate for years. The sight of a father and son at war broke the hearts of fans, but the wounds were deep. Over the years, Paul Teutul Senior, the well-known creator of Orange County Choppers, and the star of American Chopper, has encountered numerous legal disputes and financial difficulties, from bankruptcy filings and property foreclosures to litigation involving business partners. In one of the first and most well-known court cases, his son, Paul Teutul Jr., was involved. After Paul Jr. left the family business in 2009, their turbulent relationship, which is often featured on American Chopper, baked out. When Paul Sr. tried to enforce a clause in the contract that would have allowed him to buy out his son's shares in Orange County Choppers, this departure resulted in a legal battle. Paul Jr. objected, saying his father was underestimating his interest. After a protracted legal battle, a decision in favor of Paul Jr. prevented his father from taking his shares by force. In addition to straining their personal relationship, this legal battle raised concerns about the company's future. Paul Sr. was involved in another lawsuit in 2017, this time involving Thomas Darbyshire, a business partner. Orange County Choppers, American Made, was a proposed new television series in which Darbyshire had invested $3.1 million. He later accused Paul Sr., however, of causing production delays, changing their agreement to a 50% to 50% partnership rather than the original 51% in Darbyshire's favor, and misusing the money for personal expenses. The lawsuit added to the issues surrounding Paul Sr.'s business dealings by presenting a picture of financial mismanagement and unmet promises. Photographer Scott Gunnels's 2019 lawsuit against Orange County Choppers and Paul Sr. for copyright infringement was another noteworthy court case. According to Gunnels, his watermark was taken off of a picture of Paul Sr.'s son, Michael Teutul, and his images were used on merchandise and promotional materials without his consent. Paul Sr. was ordered by the court to pay $268,365 in damages after ruling in favor of Gunnels. This case brought to light persistent operational and financial problems with the Orange County Choppers brand. JTM Motorsports, an auto repair shop that had performed repairs on Paul Sr.'s 2009 Chevrolet Corvette ZR1, filed a lawsuit against him that same year. According to the lawsuit, he owed $52,456 for custom modifications and had tried to pay the debt by making promotional appearances instead of paying the full amount owed. Paul Sr.'s financial difficulties were exacerbated when JTM Motorsports filed a lawsuit after these appearances failed to happen. Paul Sr. filed for bankruptcy in 2018 as a result of severe financial hardships in addition to legal issues. According to court records, he owed almost 50 creditors more than $1 million. Even though his assets were worth about $1.8 million, they were heavily burdened. His reported monthly income of $15,072 was insufficient to cover his $12,515 in expenses. Unpaid taxes to the town of Crawford, New York, totaling more than $160,000, were among his biggest debts. His declaration of bankruptcy highlighted the severity of his financial difficulties and sparked worries about the future of his company. The foreclosure of his property in Montgomery, New York, was one of the most obvious indications of his financial difficulties. In an effort to reduce his debt, Paul Sr. put his mansion up for sale in 2017 for $2.585 million. But before it was eventually sold in 2019, the property underwent several price reductions because it did not sell right away. The property had served as a testament to his success during American Chopper's heyday. So this was a serious setback. His personal assets were not the only financial difficulties. Orange County Choppers experienced difficulties as well. In 2016, its headquarters were put up for auction for $2.485 million. Even after the sale, Paul Sr. was able to keep running his company from the same address, albeit with a new owner. The auction served as a sobering reminder of how the once thriving company had been damaged by financial mismanagement and legal issues. Tax liens, such as a $23,545 debt for unpaid state taxes associated with his Orange County Choppers Cafe in Newburgh, New York, further increased Paul Sr.'s financial burdens. These overdue taxes raised concerns about the viability of his business endeavors and indicated more serious financial instability. Paul Sr. has worked to rebuild his life and business in spite of these obstacles. He moved to Florida and opened a new business, OCC Roadhouse and Museum, in Clearwater, in an attempt to start over. In an effort to draw in fans and motorcycle enthusiasts, this establishment combines a museum, entertainment venue, and restaurant with a motorcycle theme. His goal in moving to Florida is to revitalize his brand and put his past financial and legal issues behind him. In 2018, American Chopper also had a revival that brought Paul Senior back into the spotlight. Even though it didn't completely solve his financial problems, the show gave him a chance to show off new motorcycle builds and re-establish contact with fans. However, it showed his tenacity and dedication to the motorbike sector. Best known for his work on American Chopper, Paul Teutul Senior has suffered a great deal of personal loss, especially since the death of his first wife, Paula Teutul. At the age of 73, Paula Ann Leonardo Teutul died on October 19, 2022. She was renowned for her passion for cooking and had lived in Newburgh, New York, her entire life. Her 7 grandchildren and 4 children, Paul Teutul Jr., Michael Teutul, Kristen Teutul, and Daniel Teutul, survived her. After getting married in 1969 and staying together for 26 years, Paula and Paul Sr. got divorced in 1995. Together, they formed a family during their marriage, and Paula was instrumental in raising their kids. Given the strong bonds they had developed over the years, her passing was a significant event for the Teutul family, even though they were no longer together. Later, in 2007, Paul Sr. remarried Beth Dillon, but the two divorced in 2012. He and Joan Bulger Kay have been together for a long time since then. His first marriage to Paula, however, continued to be a significant influence on his life, especially in forming the family dynamics that were depicted in American Chopper. What will happen to Paul Teutul Sr. next? Time will tell. He will always be remembered as a true original, a man who overcame adversity, established an empire, and never gave up on a challenge.